Aloha everyone, welcome to another RuneScape news coverage video. For this video, we're going to be talking about a Q&A on the latest live stream involving the lead Jmods for RuneScape. So without any further ado, let's jump right into the video. Let's go.
Cats is the illest. What you talking about, Willis?
Alright guys, this is basically a general Q&A from the lead Jmods. We got Mod Hooli, Warden, Osborne, and Mike. For this particular video, I'm going to go over some of the most interesting things that were covered and answered for this Q&A. So let's get started. The first thing I want to talk about outside of content is that recently, and I have noticed this on Twitter, many others have noticed on the Jagex website, is that they are looking to do a lot more hires. They are looking for content developers, artists, things like that, and trying to expand the team further. People have asked this on the live stream, what it's all about, and Mod Warden has addressed it, saying that it's all about producing more content for the game. That's why they want these developers and this art team, which is excellent. Jagex for many years now has been producing record profits, and many people, many players, have wondered, which I largely agree with, how come it feels like even though Jagex is making record profits, we're not seeing that reflected in the content, both in quality and quantity. And it seems like Mod Warden is trying to answer that with these hires. So fingers crossed all things go according to plan and this actually translates to a more consistent content release schedule going forward. I don't know if this is something that Jagex would have made on their own, like the decision to do this, if it wasn't for Mod Warden. Who knows? Either way, I deeply hope it means more content and more quality content for 2021. That said, the next thing I want to talk about is the remaining content for the rest of the year, because we got a little bit more solid information as to what to expect. Starting off, we got the construction update. They have revealed that it is the construction contracts, which does take from and does look similar to, in some ways, to the recent old school RuneScape update. And also Mod Ryan a long time ago had did a game jam years ago involving construction contracts, which I actually covered on the channel back then, where you basically fix up and update NPC homes for construction XP and rewards. This is aimed to be much less resource heavy and much less click intensive than your standard construction training, and hopefully provides a much needed avenue for leveling up the skill other than what we currently have. The next thing I want to talk about is the bossing update. I don't have a whole lot of information about it, very vague stuff, but they did say that they are trying out brand new things with this boss. One quickly hinted at by Mod Warden is there are some UI improvements that will make fighting the boss interesting. So I don't know exactly what that means, but it does have me intrigued as to how it'll affect the fight. There's going to be a live stream at a later date going into further detail with this boss, so we'll find out presumably then. Moving on, we got the final quest for the year, and it has been revealed to be Violet is Blue 2, which is interesting because I'm not sure if that requires Violet is Blue 1, which would seem so, but that would be awkward also to require a previous quest to do a holiday event, unless the holiday event is coupled with Violet is Blue 2 and is not the actual event itself. So we're gonna have to wait and see. I'm sure they'll clear that up as time goes on and we get closer to the Christmas event. So that's all I got for the remaining content of the year. Once again, every single one of those things I talked about is probably going to get their own dedicated live stream before launch, so I'll go into a deep dive then. But until that happens, that's what we know so far. Moving on, Mod Mike did say something interesting. Recently, at the end of last month, we had seen that Jagex had put out the remaining action bars for free to all players, the ones that you had to previously buy with premium currency. This is something that they're going to be looking at going forward and continuing to remove the premium part of it and making it free to play for other types of player services. More things like the free action bars we've seen. And this is something that's going to be reoccurring all throughout 2021. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly what that is. To me, it seems likely that it would mean free bank space, maybe free bank presets, maybe even free wealth evaluator, and maybe some free rune metrics accessibility. All those things are just speculation on my parts, but I'm sure we'll find out more as we roll into 2021. Moving on, a big update that a lot of people are very excited and hoping to come out is the Elder Godwars dungeon. They talked about it briefly on the live stream. It's aimed for 2021, but they say they are looking to do big and new things with this Godwars dungeon. They said many people are pretty much expecting 4 bosses with a bunch of mobs for kill count, that kind of thing. But that might not necessarily be the case. They might change up the format with this Elder's Godwars dungeon, and I am very curious to see exactly what route they end up taking if they're not following the traditional God Wars format. Unfortunately, that's all we really know about any type of information regarding Elder Godwars dungeon, so I guess we'll find out more next year. Next up, they addressed Steam. They said the launch on that platform has been tremendous. They've seen very good growth and are satisfied with the number of players that have come into the game and stayed, and will be continuing to support that. They said that the next big push for new players is going to be the mobile launch, and that is aimed to come out sometime in 2021, which does come with a full iOS launch. So those of you who aren't part of the 10K in the beta will finally be able to experience what mobile has to offer in 2021. Next up, I want to touch on League. This was a very popular update with old school RuneScape, and many players have wondered if there's going to be anything like this in RuneScape 3, and the Jmods have said that there aren't any current plans to introduce something like this in the game. However, they are keeping a close eye on it and do want to provide some kind of content similar to this, not exactly the same, but perhaps achieving some of the same goals through other means. Things like high score races, PVM races, those kinds of things. But just know that whatever they decide to do, it's not something that's going to be a copy and paste of what old school RuneScape has already done. Now, for an exciting thing, at least for me, they briefly talked about skill reworks and improving skills. Considering this is something I just had a recent RuneScape discussion on my channel, this is something I am particularly excited for, and it is something that they are planning on doing and working on going forward in 2021. So we should see some skill improvements in the semi-near future. Mod Osborne on stream particularly pointed out 2 skills that he wants to see improved, which doesn't necessarily mean these are the 2 that are going to be improved next year, but might be some indication at least. And those 2 skills are agility and divination. That not only means providing new and meaningful rewards for those skills, but also giving you a reason to actually actively train those skills. So whatever those ideas end up being, I am super excited to see that, and we can look forward to that in 2021. And the last thing I want to touch on for this video is the tick rate. On the live stream, they basically reiterated pretty much what we've already known, and that is that increasing the tick rate is a colossal job, far bigger than they would ever anticipate when they originally wanted to do it. Doesn't mean they aren't going to do it, but just know that it's a whole lot of work. In the meantime, they are looking at ways to mitigate or streamline parts of the game that aren't already done. Things like cleaning up the achievement system was a big thing because it was one of the most intensive scripts that they have in the game, and they're going to continue to do things like that as well. Also looking to add more servers for areas that would need it the most. In particular, Mod Warden said Brazil players have a hard time because their closest connection would be Miami, so looking to add something closer to those particular players, which would definitely help things like their ping and overall connection issues. So like I said, doesn't seem like anything we're going to expect anytime soon in terms of the tick rate, but they are making ways of making the game more responsive through other avenues at least. And that is pretty much it for the live stream. Let me know what you guys think about anything discussed in this video down in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And with that, I'm going to wrap it up. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed yet and you want to stay up to date on all things RuneScape related, then hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you watching. I am out. Aloha.